Yes. There's so many festivals in Vaishnavism. Is there a festival today? Anything? Nothing?
I
Okay.
didn't see anything on the calendar.
Okay, that's good. But do you know what there is a festival coming very soon? Gaura Purnima. There is not one more important day of the year to join with the devotees and do Sankirtan. You all live here and will be forced into it. But Craig, please come on Gaura Purnima.
I'm gonna try.
Yes, do more than try.
Michael, are you working that day or are you gonna take it off?
It'll be taken off. I have to.
That's what I figured.
Yes. So this is a very important day. Also, even Krishna is giving an extra incentive to practice on this day. It's also a lunar eclipse, which isn't normally a big deal except if you can see it, which all of America can see this lunar eclipse. So, meaning it will be a very inauspicious day for almost everyone else who doesn't do something really nice.
I have a question about it though. I noticed that it says on the calendar, fast till moonrise, but moonrise is at like 7 in the morning.
No, it's
No.
afternoon.
Moon-
6 p.m.
It's like 8:30, I think I saw.
The moon will actually be above the horizon at 7 o'clock.
Yeah, and it's at night, when the moon rises at night. So it'll be, and that would be moon setting in the morning.
What?
That will be moon set in the morning.
If it's coming up into the sky?
It won't come up in the morning. The sun
Yes,
does that.
I've been watching it lately and it's coming up earlier and earlier each day. It's coming up into the daytime sky.
Maybe, but it's definitely not coming in the morning. The moon,
I'll tell you what's
the moon will rise at night, and the sun rises in the morning. And then sometimes the moon will rise as early as 3 to 4 p.m. And sometimes it'll rise as late as like
It's
8.
almost like 7 p.m. in the evening.
And also it says that I thought Thursday before everybody was a full moon, 14th the next day.
7 बजे टूट पड़ना है.
No, Purnima means full moon. So the moon is overnight, and the moon will be in actually into the Friday morning. But that night will be the full moon, or it wouldn't be a Purnima.
Okay, I'm just saying everything else I looked at, it said the 14th was the full moon.
Really?
Moonrise is like 7 p.m. on 13th.
Okay, 7 p.m. on 13th, and then on what else?
The 13th is the
Is it Purnima? Does it say? What does the next day say? Is it also Purnima?
No, it's Pratipa. It's
Pratipa.
First, yeah.
I mean, it is what it is. You tell me. I'm just telling you what I.
Well, we have to check, but this app, at least this technology, is saying this is what it is.
So no, that was for. I can see.
Actually,
Yeah, same time, 6:45.
okay. So, as far as I know, you may have information that may not be correct somewhere. If you have a calendar and you're looking at India's time, it could be different. That's possible.
I looked at several apps and I have looked online. I have a couple of things and they all said the 14th was the full.
It depends on the location.
Yeah, the full moon itself is
But it's
happening
based on
on the
time
14th
change,
at 2 in the morning.
I'm sorry?
The full moon is happening at the 14th at 2 in the morning, but the evening of the 13th is
Okay,
the
well,
full.
that-
Yeah,
It's
Yes.
like a moonrise.
Yes. So
And when's the eclipse supposed to happen?
the eclipse is going to happen between 2 and 4 in the morning.
Oh, I see.
Yes. So anyhow,
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
no, it's good. We should figure out these things. All right. Well, anyhow, Bhishma is going to actually leave his body today. So we've been waiting for this for some time. You guys got a sneak peek of this already, right? When Kendra was here? Yes. All right. So before, I never get to offer my obeisances because I get too impassioned. So just real quick, Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militamina Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. No. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimad Bhaktivedanta Swamini Tinamine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharani Nirvishesh Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktivinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Mahaprasad Ki Jai. No.
Giving the bride before.
What?
Giving the bride before.
Giving the bride before. So anyhow, I actually did that on accident. So prasadam on the mind. So what I meant to say was Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. So anyhow, Sutu vacha Krishna evam bhagavati manovag drishti vrittivi atmanyatmanam aveshya sonta shvasa upadamat Sutu vacha. Suta Goswami said, Krishna, Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, evam, only, bhagavati, unto him, mana, with mind, vak, speech, drishti, sight, vrittivi, activities, atmani, unto the supersoul, atmanam, the living being, aveshya, having merged in, saha, he, antashvasaha, inhaling, uparamat, became silent. Suta Goswami said, thus Bhishma Dev merged himself in the Supersoul, Lord Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, with his mind, speech, sight, and actions. And thus he became silent, and his breathing stopped. Purport. The stage attained by Bhishma Dev while quitting his material body is called Nirvikalpa Samadhi, because he merged his self into thinking of the Lord and his mind into remembering his different activities. He chanted the glories of the Lord, and by his sight he began to see the Lord personally present before him. And thus all his activities became concentrated upon the Lord without deviation. This is the highest stage of perfection, and it is possible for everyone to attain this stage by practice of devotional service. The devotional service of the Lord consists of 9 principles of service activities, and they are, read them together. 1. Hearing. 2. Chanting. 3. Remembering. 4. Serving the lotus feet. 5. Worshipping. 6. Praying. 7. Executing the orders. 8. Fraternizing or friendship. And 9. Fully surrendering. Any one of them or all of them are equally competent to award the desired result, but they require to be practiced persistently under the guidance of an expert devotee of the Lord. The first item, hearing, is the most important item of all, and therefore hearing of the Bhagavad Gita and later on Srimad Bhagavatam is essential for the serious candidate who wants to attain the stage of Bhishma Dev at the end. The unique situation of Bhishma Dev's time of death can be attained even though Lord Krishna may not be personally present. His words of the Bhagavad Gita or those of Srimad Bhagavatam are identical with the Lord. They are sound incarnations of the Lord, and one can fully utilize them to be entitled to attain the stage of Sri Bhishma Dev, who was one of the 8 Vasus. Every man or animal must die at a certain stage of life, but one who dies like Bhishma Dev attains perfection, and one who dies forced by the laws of nature dies like an animal. That is the difference between a man and an animal. The human form of life is especially meant for dying like Bhishma Dev. Jai. So dying is like the main point of this. The main point of this material world is you have to learn how to die. Lest you will die like an animal, and what happens with animals? They just keep going. How many species of animals? 8.4 there's 8.4 million species of everything, including the human beings.
8 million.
Yeah, 8 million, roughly 8 million species of different types of animals.
I think I blew the fuse.
Yes.
You could try it.
So anyhow, you just have to unplug the Tulsi bag. Plug it back. Yes, so it shouldn't be a big problem. So anyway, what makes a human being different is what? What's the one thing humans can do that animals can't do? Piyush.
Understand God.
Maybe.
Prabhupada actually said that.
You said something close. But, Piyush.
They have better consciousness to know.
Know what?
Know the Lord and serve Him.
Yes, they can actually do the facility of inquiring into the absolute truth, which would actually be what Craig said, eventually discovering that truth, being God, and then eventually maybe one day actually understanding and loving God. But only the human being can do that. Only the human being. The animal they really don't have a shot unless there have been times Krishna has some animal associates. We were discussing yesterday whether it was good to be a parrot or not. And a parrot in the ordinary sense of the world is not necessarily a good situation to be. But a parrot connected to the Lord is a great situation to be. So, and actually the speaker of the Bhagavatam of this verse, in fact, I believe, right? Yes, it's like a sutta about you. But Shukadev he's the parrot amongst the gods. He's the parrot amongst the sages. And what he's glorified to is he's able to repeat the divine instructions that he's heard. But anyhow, we don't want to die like an animal. And Bhishma Dev actually did the exact opposite. He died in perfection. Human beings, most of us are actually dying like animals. Actually, most human beings are what are called dvipada pashu, which means what, Piyush? Dvipada pashu.
I know.
Oh, two-legged.
Two-legged animal. Yes, that's what most human beings are, because they're completely focused on sense gratification. What are they going to eat? I need to get proper rest, my sleeping arrangements, maybe a nice, comfy, cozy bed, this, that, and the other thing. Mating, the opposite gender, that's very attractive to most people. And then, or the same gender nowadays, very attractive. And then last, defending. I gotta get this, my job, my position, I gotta make money, I gotta get my house, I gotta defend my house, and acquire. Actually, this is animals, like a bird taking sticks and making the nest over and over again, and like this. Or a bear securing his cave, or something like this. So everyone has this tendency. But most people spend their entire lives doing only these things. What's to eat? I gotta sleep. It can be the nicest arrangement. I can sleep, and maybe I can sleep next to someone I can mate with. And then last, I have to defend all these arrangements I've acquired. Most people live their entire lives only focusing on these things. Even in devotional life, we can only focus on these things. We might know, but if we're all we care about, or what's on the menu for prasadam today? Or, is there a devotee girl around the corner? Blah, 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 Or I'm looking, I need to get a nice job, and it's for my devotional service, blah, 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 blah. And we only focus on these things. But actually, true bhakti is anyabhilashita shunyam jnana karma dhyanavritam anukulyena krishnanu shilanam bhaktir uttama. What does that mean? Anyabhilashita, what's it mean?
What is it?
And anyabhilashita.
Vilasita is desires, and Anya is like unfulfilled desire or useless desires.
Yes, useless. Material desires. Anyabhilashita is material desires. Shunyam. Devoid of, without. Jnana. Knowledge, information. Karma. Activities, actions, reactions. Adi actually, it refers to renunciation and also mystic yoga and perfections in mysticism as well. Dhyanavritam, or anavritam actually is. What is anavritam? Covered.
Yeah.
Covered over.
Covered, yeah.
So this is describing what bhakti, pure bhakti actually is. It's not covered over by jnana, trying to get information. It's not covered over, even though the person seeking jnana is one of the people who can actually reach Krishna. But also the person seeking karma also. Remember the four things? They're all seeking different karma. They can also find Krishna. Krishna can be found everywhere. But pure bhakti is only done when it's not covered by those things. That's all pure bhakti is. If you evaluate your life, you're going to find yourself covered over, probably mostly covered over, but hopefully you're starting to lessen. These things are affecting you less. You're less covered over. If you're making advancement in bhakti, you'll be less covered over. And then anavritam is covered over. Anukulyena. What does it mean?
Anubhila is like
Favorable.
Favorable. Krishnanu. Well, Krishna. For Krishna. Favorable to Krishna. Anushilanam.
Follow that.
What's that?
Follow that. Anushilan means follow that.
Follow that. Seen it translated as like the activities which are favorable for his service, or activities in his service. Anushilanam. Bhaktir Uttama. This is what topmost bhakti is. This is what it is. So if you are covered over by trying to even acquire knowledge, because Krishna's got the best knowledge, the best activities. If you're trying to get fruits and rewards, God's got all the rewards. The best way to get all your rewards is Krishna. Or even, you're trying to achieve levels of deeper mysticism, or you're trying to be a renunciate and so on. Krishna's the one who's the master of all those things. But if that's what you're focusing on, you're not actually taking the perfection of jnana, the perfection of karma, and the perfection of mysticism, which is actually relationship with Krishna. Craig? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hopefully we see you again soon.
Okay,
Yes. Thursday?
hope so.
Yes. And then, Michael, have a nice day at work.
We're getting milk today.
Yes, we are getting milk, but I told Michael already. So, all right. You want to read one more?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, maybe we should talk. He completely merged himself with mana, mind, vak, speech, drishti, sight, vritti, activities, atmani, unto the super soul. And he realized that Krishna was the very source of his self. And him in full concentration, full samadhi of that Sri Krishna, he achieved the perfection. He didn't merge with him. He doesn't now Bhishma enters into Krishna. But his full consciousness was merged into him. This is a difference. Like, for instance, in the Bible and also in the Vedas, it said when man and women get married, they become one soul. It's like saying become one soul. But me and my wife are not one soul. We're not
Physically.
we're not like one being, and you can only just associate with the one being now. We are the Sitaram,
There's a concept of Ardhanarishwar, like half woman, half man, like Shiva is a depiction of that.
Yes. Hare Krishna, Michael. Yes.
Shakti and Shiva are like one half Shakti and half Shiva, and that they blend. It's called Ardhanarishwar.
Yes,
half,
yes.
Half Nari, half Nara.
Yes, that's the nature of this world, and even that's said to be the nature of Radha Krishna as well. But you see, they have two separate forms as well. So, but man and woman coming together. But what happens? Everything, if you do marriage properly, everything becomes we. It's not about I anymore.
Yes.
What I want to do, what I want to do. I have to do this. I want to do this. I want to do this. Yes, relax. It's your birthday. We could eat whatever you'd like today. But it's my wife's birthday today. It's our birthday today because we're one. So it's our birthday today. Actually, a few days ago, I didn't even realize it was our wedding anniversary. We didn't even celebrate our wedding anniversary.
Well, it was on our wedding. It was on our shower day.
Oh yeah, we did celebrate the
Yeah.
wedding anniversary.
Same day.
Yeah, we did a yagya on our wedding anniversary.
Oh, that's
Very good.
That's pretty auspicious.
Very auspicious. So very good.
Not mad about it. They forgot.
So
We don't do anything for it.
yeah, no, we have a bunch of wedding anniversaries too. So we have two. So anyhow, but we're one. But everything that we do is for the benefit of each other. Ideally, in the material world, it really doesn't work like that. But we're trying, right? So same thing when you are completely merged in consciousness with Krishna. Everything is anukulyena Krishna anushilanam. Your everything is towards the favor of Krishna. And Krishna lets you know what his favor is. Just like, Bhishma, it was revealed that now is the time to die. He had the boon that he could die whenever he wanted. But now, all was done. Everything was lost. Everything that he made a vow for in this lifetime has come, it was for a finish. It came to an end now. And so now all that was left to do was standing before him, and that was Krishna. And this was what Bhishma realized. He was waiting for the right time, and Krishna came just before the right time with Yudhisthira and everyone. And then Bhishma was very happy to see the Lord's devotees who he cared for so much, the Pandavas, and he instructed them, pacified them. And then now there was nothing left to do in this world. And so he merged his whole being, his whole consciousness. Not that Bhishma's body merged with Krishna, or even a light came out and merged with Krishna. That happens sometimes with some demons, but that usually only happens to demons. Why? Because demons want to be God. So Krishna says, fine, come. You'll realize you had a better gift before. He'll cast them back out eventually. But, Krishna says what? It's not a dehinosmi yatha dehe. No, it's the verse after that. Never did I not exist, nor you, nor any of these kings. So this is the truth, actually. We have an individual purpose. So Bhishma, he merged all of his consciousness into Krishna. With what? These are very important things. With what is mana? The mind. We try to do that every day when chanting a mantra. The Hare Krishna mantra is an activity of the mind, to engage the mind in merging it in Krishna. Right? Okay, what's vak?
Speech.
Speech, yes. Drishti. Sight. Seeing Krishna. That's the whole reason the deity form is there. That's the whole purpose of the deity form, to enable you to engage your sight. That's the whole point of the Murti. So that you can connect your sight to that absolute in the form of, hopefully, your Ishtadev. Hopefully you're worshipping an Ishtadev and you're not worshipping demigods, which is another thing that, in the Veda culture is liked. It's proper in some ways. Even Krishna and his associates did that. But it wasn't, they did it for a different purpose. Ultimately, because this was, these activities create sweeter intimacy and in being able to really merge one's consciousness with Krishna. Like, for instance, Radharani would worship the sun god. But she would always have a pretext, I'm going to worship the sun god. Why? Because at midday, that's when Krishna would break off from the majority of his friends. And Radharani would break off from her mother-in-law and all the others trying to hold them tight. And then they get to have meat, and the exchanges of love were there. So this is the pretext. The gopis worshipped Katyayani, like an expansion of Durga or Parvati. Why? What is this? She bestows the good husband. So they worshipped the demigod. What? For Krishna. So it's a completely different consciousness. But here in Kali Yuga, in where we are now, we honor the demigods. They're the great devotees of the Lord. They are great controllers, powerful entities in this world. We respect them. Sun comes up, Surya Dev, or even you have a higher understanding, like in Srimad Bhagavatam, there's a whole chapter devoted to the form of Narayana as Surya Dev, Surya Narayan, understanding. But we should understand where it's all emanating from, and we should also have our Ishtadev. Do you know what Ishtadev is?
What your lineage is, your ancestors and everyone is.
That is.
Hopefully not your. Hopefully, don't just go with the ancestors.
I was going to ask you actually, like.
Kuldev is different.
Oh, so
Kuldevata is different.
sorry, Kuldev.
No.
In Vedic system, what I've heard this from Shiksha Guru, he says that Vedic system or Vedic knowledge is all conclusively Krishna, not all exclusively Krishna. Meaning, all the conclusions of everything leads to Krishna, or the end point is definitely Krishna.
Mm.
There are steps everyone is stuck in, like someone is on different modes of nature, so Puranas are also designed.
Okay. Ishtadev is preferred deity.
Yes,
So, yeah,
yes.
Ishtadevata is, and so Ishtadevata, Kul Devata is also one of those. Kul
Yes,
Devata means
yes.
like having a
But
That
Kuldevata
God-
is for family and Ishta
Yeah.
is your personal.
your personal.
Yes, well, that's what this is all about, is to have your own personal connection with Krishna.
Yeah.
Now, in our lineage, it's Krishna.
It's Krishna.
It's Krishna consciousness. It's Krishna, and in specific, it's Vrindavan Krishna. But that being said, in order to cultivate that understanding of why this aspect of Krishna is the best, there should be plenty of philosophy to, in essence, prove or confirm why this Ishta would be so great. But this isn't for everyone. Many people have their Ishtadev as Nrsimhadev. The Christians, their Ishtadev is Jesus. The Muslims and the Jews, they have a more impersonal Ishtadev of God, just kind of like Brahman or even Paramatma, the super soul, the source of all beings, but they don't really have like what God looks like, what He does, anything. That's not really in their conception. It's just that there's the great Almighty who's controlling all. But anyway, so everyone has an ability. But Krishna, or Bhishma, was fortunate because he was able to focus on his Ishtadev right in front of him in the personal form of Krishna. And notice the few verses earlier, he talked about Krishna in Vrindavan and his relationship with the gopis. So actually this is very interesting. He only personally got to experience him in a different way. Fighting, war, things like this. Krishna is the great, powerful hero. And Bhishma is challenging him and testing his strength against him, and bringing out the Vira Ras, or the heroism within the Lord. But at the same time, Bhishma, he was able to recognize this incredible understanding of Krishna as the what was the exact word he used? Gopa Vadva. But he mentioned those. He mentioned the damsels of the cowherd men. Let my mind be fixed upon Lord Shri Krishna, whose motions and smiles of love attracted the damsels of Rajadam. So this was what Bhishma's meditation was on, and then he merged everything he had left into Krishna, everything he had actually, because he had everything, he had his entire soul, into Krishna, and then he left his body. And that will determine his next destination. How you die, whatever your consciousness is on, will dictate where you go next. Actually, how you live, whatever your consciousness is on, it will dictate where you go next, is it not?
True, absolutely.
This is reality. Whatever your consciousness is on will dictate where you go. If you're in work consciousness, off to work you go. If you're in Krishna consciousness, something else might happen. You might you might work, you might do all the things that other people are doing, but why are you doing it? Because you're seeing it as enhancing your connection to Krishna. So this is why we do everything what we do. And Bhishma achieved perfect Krishna consciousness at death. It's a very, very crucial junction because you're now about to transition. Anything of this world is coming to an end. Now the perfection of your consciousness, how you live this life, is going to be played out right now. What is your consciousness focusing on? If you at all have any material consciousness left, it will go to that. It will go to that in some way. If you have some material consciousness, let's just say a very deep attachment to the wife, and if that's stronger than your Krishna consciousness, oh no, I'm losing my wife. Oh no, I'm losing my relationship. Oh no, it might be kids, my children. Oh no, Oh, my money. Oh no, my wife. Oh no, my position. I love my position. If it's anything else, you'll have to come to the material world and fulfill whatever it is you desire. Just like when you go do anything in this life, it has to do with what you desire, what your consciousness is on. Rishi was having some Krishna consciousness in Buffalo, where he was going to work day in and day out, and he was making a joke yesterday. He goes in the morning, it's dark, and then it's dark throughout the day and inside, and then he comes out and it's dark again because he has long work hours. But he said when it was done, he was feeling like the need. I need to improve my spiritual life. Let me go find the Krishna devotees. Next thing you know, I get a text from him. I'll be there for the next few days. I was like, okay, that's great. We welcome him with open arms. But this is Krishna consciousness. This dictates. There were so many people riding the bus that day. How many other people were on the bus? 20, 30 people were on the bus. They were doing the same activity as Rishi. He was on the bus, they were on the bus. But his was Krishna conscious. He got on the bus in Krishna consciousness, and everyone else very likely did not get on the bus in Krishna consciousness. They had some other consciousness. So what is your consciousness? And this, you practice of refining your consciousness. The biggest test, the biggest exam is death. And it has very, very serious repercussions. Right now, if your consciousness goes off, it can be recovered. Your consciousness goes off at death, that's a big boo-boo. You got a whole nother lifetime to deal with. So this whole life is this sadhana. A sadhana is, yes, it's practice for that exact moment. Because at that point, all of your life's lessons will be put to the test at that moment. But what will you focus on? What are you focusing on right now?
That makes natural death so important then.
It's the most important thing. That's the whole purpose of life is death.
It's a natural death.
Oh, yes. Oh my God. These people are suiciding now and oh my gosh.
I mean, drugs and things.
What's that?
Drugs.
No, yes, yeah, with drugs and all kinds of things like that. But even in an accident, even on a battlefield, all the warriors on Kurukshetra, they were so fortunate. Why? They were actually able to see Krishna at death.
There's also a verse where it said that when Arjuna hit an arrow to someone, it took away all his sinful reactions, and Krishna saw him, and they were all like delivered in that sense. Because
Yes.
Krishna was driving, and they were facing Arjuna and Krishna while they were dying.
I think if I remember correctly, in the Mahabharata, it ends where they actually all go to the heavenly realms. And Krishna also goes there, but in the Narayan form. And then he goes and all of them have access. Even Duryodhana was there. But anyone who participates in Krishna's pastimes is so fortunate. So we should try and refine our consciousness. We see Bhishma did it in perfection. He showed us exactly how to die. Now we might not be so lucky, and we're not as lucky as Bhishma, where at our death we probably won't have we might have a bunch of pure devotees there if we're very lucky.
Holly.
And what?
He said Holly.
Holly was fortunate that devotees had come to her at her death, and actually right before, an hour before, me, my wife, and Meghna were there.
That is 100%
And
arrangement.
yeah, it was Krishna's arrangement, and when we got there, Radha and Krishna were posted on the wall. We didn't post them on the wall, staring right
We
at her.
brought them.
We brought them the last time we came, but they were just posted on the wall, just looking at Holly, and then we probably the most I let loose in a kirtan in a very, very, very long time was this year in Holly's death chamber in the hospital where she was about to die, and my wife was like, "Stop!" Like trying to tell her, like, "No, like now is the time to really like give it for Holly." I was ripping I was as much as I could because Holly is dear to me, and And we were begging Krishna to accept her. But anyhow, it's the great trial. And Bhishma not only passed with flying colors, but he set the example. He was an acharya. You could say a death acharya. What is it in Mrityu? Mrityacharya. He is the Mrityacharya, teaching you how to die. Full merging. Now there's a verse here that teaches you how to live. Who here suffers? Yes. Piyush, you suffer?
Oh.
You know what you suffer the most from is your mind takes you in so many places. And next thing you know, you're over here. And it doesn't matter what's going around you, the churning in the mind is happening. You're like me in that sense. I'm a chronic overthinker. But so anyway, here's Bhishma in this verse reveals.
Because we all raised our hands.
Yeah. And Piyush was
Yeah.
off.
Even
You know.
man.
And so
This is like I'm only suffering.
So, but the verse goes this, it's a Bhagavatam verse, very famous, 10:14. Anytime a devotee is suffering, we say, look at this verse. Yes. Tatenu kampam susamikshamano bunjana evatma kritam vipakam. This is the same as this verse. Hridvag vaparbir vidadan namaste jiveta yomukti pade sadayabak. The line, Hridvag vaparbir vidadan namaste. So first, if whoever's eagerly seeking Krishna's compassion or mercy, right? We all want it. If you're suffering, you want Krishna's mercy. If you don't want his mercy, you're not that intelligent because that's what's going to stop your suffering. So anyone who's suffering, they want God's mercy. But first they have to bunjana evatma kritam vipakam. They have to experience it and understand it's coming from the results of their past actions. Your suffering is self-created. Yes or no? To whatever you put your consciousness on, it's controlling why you're suffering. Previously, I shouldn't have done that. Even myself, I suffered immensely getting cheated by the airline because I was just trying to get the cheapest flight and I was trying to do it as quickly as possible. And even there was a time I look back at it and I'm like cringing. I'm like, no. Where it tried to give me tiers of options of, and I didn't even look at it and I was like, hell no, these are more expensive. Basic. Didn't realize what I did. And I suffered so much more because of it, because of my negligence. Because I was thinking, save money. Wasn't thinking, it wasn't being intentional, wasn't being, what's the best thing? What's the best thing for my wife? What's the best thing? What's the best thing for our spiritual activities and things like that? I just saw more money and I was like, no. But I had to learn and I had to suffer and I had to pay more money than anyone else on the plane for the same tickets. And we got less bags than anyone else.
He was walking through the airport
I want to know what happened.
What?
I want to know what
on
happened.
the phone yelling. I
No.
want to know please not let us get on the plane.
We had to pay $400 for one bag.
One way.
One way, because our tickets somehow didn't cover baggage.
Checked baggage. Only carry.
It's almost unheard of for an international flight, which is why I just bypassed it. But because my consciousness wasn't fully Krishna conscious, if I was fully Krishna conscious, Krishna would have revealed it to me. But no, he
Another 300 on the way back.
yeah, and then another 300 on the way back,
For
just
the
to
one bag each.
stick it in my side, for my consciousness going off, And then on top of that, he really tried to stick it to us. He almost didn't let us get on the plane on the way back. Because again, we didn't read all the fine details with traveling pregnant, and we were supposed to do one more thing, and then they were trying to punish us again. And luckily, my wife's tears and my incessant chanting, and after chastising these people and revealing how greedy this type of system was, but very much... then they ended up relieving us, and Krishna ended up relieving us.
There's mostly the tears.
But at that point, I was thinking of this verse in Bunjana evatma kritam vipakam. I have made my bed. I bought these tickets. I didn't read all the details, and now I'm here. I'm ready to suffer. But I did one thing good this time. The first time I was so angry, and I was calling the airlines. I was trying to manipulate the situation to get the money back. But the second time I realized, don't bother with this. They're cheaters. They've foolproof this system to cheat and make the money. You're not going to win. Like, so what I ended up doing the second time is what Bhishma did here, and what this verse recommends. Hrid vag vapur bir vidadan namaste. Hrid is what?
Sorry?
Hrid.
Hriday, heart.
Heart. What's in the heart?
God.
Yes, Paramatma, but even more so, even more, even a layer of covering.
The mind?
What? Yes, the mind, where the desires come. The soul is present in the heart. The soul is in the heart. So actually, when it's mentioned with one's hrid, also it's referring to one's mind. Your desires are coming from your heart. So also with hrid, and then what is vag? Speech. With one's speech, with one's mind, with one's heart, with one's desires, with one's speech. And then vapur bir is what? One's body. Vidadan namaste. Vidadan, I'm offering it unto you. Vidadan. Like done, an offering. Vidadan namaste. Unto you, as in respect. Michael. Vidadan namaste. And then jiveta yomukti pade sadaya bak. One who does this can attain mukti pade, the feet of Krishna, which will deliver you from suffering. Sadaya bak, and to get his causeless mercy. So this is the secret. To get mercy in this world. This is also the secret at death, because you better believe death will be the greatest suffering. The greatest test of suffering. If you're attached to the body, just pinch your body right now and just see how much it hurts. Ow, ow, ow. You feel it. It hurts. Now imagine the whole body is failing, how much it hurts. Especially if you're very much bodily attached. It'll hurt tremendously. So you have to become Krishna conscious. Lest all of these material things will destroy you. And just like at the end there, our final test in India before we came back, I got to pass this time. Upon entering India, I failed the test. And I got so angry, and I was bewildered too, because I was angry, I was bewildered, and I just signed it. Actually, if I had clarity of mind and I really connected with Krishna, I would have realized none of the stuff in this thing is worth $400. We should call her mom, put this back in the car, and then go back luggageless and buy everything there. But because I was bewildered by anger and desire to not be cheated and all these things and get my whatever justice I was, I ended up paying and then, losing the money, which was a mismanagement on my part.
That was bad part, because I also saw your tickets, but I never saw that.
Yeah, no, it's
like
a cheating thing. It's understood that you'd give that luggage. But anyway, they've successfully cheated. Legally, everything is done. It was finished. Krishna did it. Arranged it through that way. But because my consciousness wasn't in the right place, I wasn't able to detect it before and there. And then at the end, the test came again. I had to be ready to give up even more money. We got to buy new tickets. We got to get home. And I was ready. This is what you want, Krishna, fine. And I just kept chanting, and I kept chanting, and I kept chanting. And then 5 minutes before they closed the gate, then I went and checked in. She's crying, because we're going to miss the baby shower. So many things. All our responsibilities we had. Our visas were going to expire. It was going to be a disaster. But by Krishna's arrangement, they let us on the flight, and we went home. But it was only because I passed the test. In my heart, in my mind, that's the only reason why Krishna let me. Because at this point now, I was actually able to fulfill this. Hridvag vapur bir vidadan namaste. Yes, it's up to you, and I don't protest anymore. Whatever you say, fine. This is Krishna consciousness. This is surrender. And if you don't do it willingly because Krishna loves you, he'll force you into doing it. And if you don't, if you try and run from it your whole life, don't worry, at death, then you will. Or we chanted this morning, right, when we were singing Jeev Jagu, he was saying at birth, we promise to serve you. In the womb, that's what's happening. You're in suffering so much in the womb. You already did it. You don't remember. But then it was going on, but we've forgotten. Because as soon as we come out, we get bewildered by Maya, and again we go into this. But in the womb, we actually realize, it's mentioned in the Bhagavatam, we realize how miserable this situation is here. Because we're experiencing it so viscerally. Like after death, if you have to take rebirth, it's just going to be a long time suffering at death and then suffering into the birth again.
Then we remember our actual position.
Yeah. Yeah, and through all that suffering, that's what suffering's meant for, is to give you some clarity. Like when I suffered being cheated by airlines, it gave me clarity. What am I focusing on? Why am I focusing on money? Why am I focusing on like this? Getting the best deals and all these things. This is good. You can do this in Krishna consciousness, but that's not where my mind was. Trying to get ahead. No. It should be for Krishna. Everything you do. And if you don't do it willingly, he'll force you into it. He has to, because he loves you. So don't wait. Don't wait Krishna. He's already, I see, he's churning, he's putting the pressure on, specifically you two. You two he's putting pressure on right now. Everyone has it. I see it in your lives too. He's putting pressure on you. You guys are having very intense responsibilities. But what are you putting your consciousness on? You put it on Krishna, you'll never be like today. I hope Craig's not listening. But me and Michael, we were talking, and Michael's going to quit his job today. Did you guys hear? Did you guys hear that?
No.
Yes, Michael's going to quit his job today. Why? Because, he's doing it only because, to get some money, wants to support here and other things. Yeah, but Krishna's revealed to us a way to properly get money for what we're doing. You guys can't quit your jobs. If you guys quit your jobs, Krishna will have you quit America. And then, also. But also Michael's job is like an entry level, it's not a big job, it's just a way to get by, So he's quitting his job. Why? Because Krishna's revealing. And then, we're both a little worried because, that's his income, that's his source of livelihood. And then on top of that, here, it's not really a good time here to, he makes a donation every month to us. And it's not really a good time to lose donations for us here. We're about to give everything we have we've already done for this project. And then also we have the other piece of land now we're looking at that Krishna's arranged. But it's the right thing to do. He's ready to surrender fully more to Krishna, to do actual service, and expect that, Krishna will maintain him. If he goes out there and genuinely tries to give people books, if I go out there with him and we try to genuinely give people books, why would Krishna not provide if we're actually being Krishna conscious? And we're not worried about money, we're not worried about this, we're actually trying to do this service as an offering unto him. Here's my body, here's my mind, and here's my speech. You have to talk to people about Krishna. Here's everything, Krishna, fine. Why would he not provide the mukti pade? So anyhow, we started late today. I'll finish you. Yes, who's got it? Parth, please.
So if in performing our duty and surrendering, so at times when things won't go as like in your instance in the airport and other things, so it's kind of a duty to manage everything on at least a materialistic plane.
Yes.
But if that doesn't work, we basically surrender everything and then just leave it upon him. So how to see the right balance between these two? Like, let's say if something is not working, how much we have to endeavor to do that because as a part of our duty, and how much we have to leave it and just surrender and like.
Well, this is why it's very important to have guidance. This is why it's very important to have, you're not concocting what your duties are. You should be taking guidance as to what your duties are. Like for instance, I might have, I know I'm receiving guidance to manage the money properly here and make Krishna conscious projects. This isn't like in one level, me and my wife have a lot of freedom to do this. Nobody tells us, do it like this and do it like this. Sometimes people tell us, but usually our qualified seniors who we're taking guidance from aren't telling us it has to be like this and it has to be like that. It's just, no, do the thing and manage everything properly. So that's one level, so you do your duties. But at a certain level, you realize I've done everything I can do. I did everything I could do with the airlines, both times even, and I had to surrender. One time Krishna, both times Krishna, a certain level of punishment was there, or a certain level of, nope, I'm withholding this or I'm taking this.
But Prabhu, whatever you did was proper. It's not like going away from consciousness. Diligently working to the best of capacity is proper. It's proper.
Yeah.
It's whatever you fought for. See, if you have not fought for that, then you would have thought, oh, I should have given a fight.
Yeah.
So that's proper, whatever you did. It's not wrong.
No, it's not wrong, but
If you give a fight and if you work till the last, like if you diligently put all you had and then you accept, okay, it's not happening, it's fine.
Yes.
Then accepting is surrender. Like, accepting the result that came out with sincere effort is
that's what it is. You have to put in effort. I mean, and what do we call that? Is bhajan, right? Damodar Leela. The two fingers too short with why Yashoda couldn't. Because one was her effort, her bhajan, her actual like intention to go. Like, like many of you are listening to the class. Some of you are acting on the phone and doing something else. Who knows? What is the, but Krishna sees your efforts. Krishna knows where your consciousness is. And the results, the mercy comes based on the effort. Why did Krishna finally? Because of Yashoda's effort. The sweat was perspiring. She put all of her effort into her duty. So you should get clarity. What is my duty? If you don't know your duty, find somebody you trust. Ask, what is my duty? Then, after that, you try everything that you can to complete that duty. But then if Krishna does not, if then you run out of options, because you will be frustrated at some point. Then, what do? Like Draupadi. Draupadi, right? Fighting. What's his name? Dushasan, whatever. Dushasan, pulling. And she's fighting. And then at one point, here it is. I'm about to be stripped naked in front of all of these people. I'm going to the ultimate disrespect. But what else can I do? This is a losing battle. I'm fighting, calling, fighting. Then I'll try it again later. Fighting, calling, no. And then at the end, fighting. And then, okay. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Those are the steps to
Yeah.
You can't directly jump.
Yeah. And so, eventually, Hey Krishna Govinda Hari Murari, Hey Natha Narayana Vasudeva, and let it go. And then what happened? Pulling, and preserved. Somehow, Mukti Pade, his feet delivered her. So you guys are fighting, 60 days left. Well, I don't know. Brajesha, 130 days, 90 days. Tanmay loan is now coming. Fighting. You have to do everything you can. You have duties here, you have duties there, you have everything coming. Rishi now, I got the job. And then he goes off and then he's like, fighting. But he realizes, I have to come here on my off days. So now he's back.
I'm fighting too.
Yeah, my wife fighting.
Coming.
Baby's coming, kicking, sleeping, eating.
I deleted all day yesterday.
Breaking Akadashi.
I did break a Kadashi. I woke up so hungry yesterday morning. I ate grains and didn't realize that she wasn't over.
My material boss wants to go on Mars. I want to go to Goloka.
Yeah. Go to Goloka, but you have to serve this Martian. You have to serve this man. Yes. But no problem, actually. So to find the balance, one, you have to get guidance. You don't if you're just making up your own duties, you're in trouble. But two, if you get guidance properly, and you write, the 3 ways of mercy are what? Tadvidi,
Humbly.
Pranipatena,
Pranipatena,
Pariprashnena,
Pariprashnena, and Seva. So, humbly going before someone who could help you with your duty, a senior person, a more experienced person, ideally a spiritual master, that you fully in your heart, this is a topmost person, I can trust him, or
Then
her.
you have to listen.
Yes, but then you have to listen. And then Pariprashnena, what should I do? And give all the context. Reveal everything. Like I'll give you some example. I'm not anybody's spiritual master, but sometimes you guys come to me with advice. And then at first glance, if you don't give me any context, you ask me a question, and I say, oh, yeah, you should do like this. But then you're like, well, but Prabhu, there's this, and this, and that. Oh, okay. All right, well, then that changes everything. You gotta, so you have to go to somebody you trust, give them all the information. What do I do? Help me. Then they can help you.
and
But-
maybe a devotee who is in your similar situation or walk through
Yeah.
that path is
Yeah, like for
Give them
instance,
context.
I'll give you an example. We sat down with Kalakanta Prabhu and Brahat Mridanga. Why? Kalakanta is a senior devotee. But he's doing exactly what we're doing, and he's doing it better and more and So if we want to do this better, and this is what this is a guru to us. This is somebody who can help us. So we did just that. For at least an hour, we just humbly asked if we could have a little bit of his time. And, and he was very busy, but he gave his time. And then we took advantage of Pariprashnena, as many questions as we could get in. That's not available for everyone. Like Vaisheshika Prabhu, he's distributing so many books and things like that. I had it in my heart. I have a desire. I want to do all these things. I would love to get Vaisheshika Prabhu's time, but try to talk to him. Very difficult. He's got so many people want to talk to him. Everyone wants to talk to him, and it's very difficult to be a desired person. So anyway, I got in there for 1 second. Just he was doing a seva of distributing tilak after a Bhagavatam class he gave, a wonderful class on Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati's
I
appearance.
prepared my class listening to
appearance.
him.
What? Oh, you prepared your class listening to him.
Yeah.
So I only had 1 second to talk to him. So what did I say? I'm trying to remember now.
Please come to Syracuse.
I said I said I owe you an email requesting you to come to Syracuse, because he's heard it a few times from others, Adya and Bhagavad Ashraya, and he's like, Syracuse, right? Email me, and he was like very friendly and just like, but that's all the time, and then the next person swarmed in and
I think you created the window for the conversation.
Yes.
That's good.
Yes, I just got the little bit. There's a crowd of people, and I got myself to the front. He handed me tilak, and then I knew I only had like a sentence, and then I gave the sentence, and now it leaves it open. We can email, and we can hopefully set him up to come here, and so on. And then when he comes here, then I may humbly come before him and be like, Prabhu, can we ask you some questions? And then I can get the mercy, because I want to also do what he's doing. So like this is how it's done. You find somebody, that's Rishi gave a nice point. You find somebody who's doing what you're doing. Now, for instance, Parth, Guru Maharaj, like my Diksha Guru, Guru Maharaj to you, you know him as Guru Maharaj, he did exactly what all of you are doing. He worked in the professional world, he did a visa situation, and he did it for many years, and he retired at 50 years old or something like this. He retired very early. He established himself well in India. He built a giant temple as an offering, but he managed his grahastha life very exemplary. So you can ask him how to manage time. He knows way better than me, and I'll say, my dharma is not the same. I have a different body, I have a different origin, a different country. I don't have to go through the same visa obstacles. And just like when I'm in India, my dharma is different. you guys can go around freely, and I have the government and airlines and people checking me at every step of the way. I have I don't know the system. Getting cheated, I make some reservation for the hotel, and I get there, and then they charge me 3 times as much because, yes, because in India they're very skilled at cheating, so anyhow.
We were trying to pay with the credit card so we could trace it and tell the booking company, and they kept pressing cancel while we were using the credit card.
No, madam, this is not working, madam.
Yes, it's not working, and I'm like, let me see it, and then next thing I know, I click it, and then he goes, and he's like an opportunist, and it says like a tip, like 15, and he clicks tip 15%. I was like, I did not want to tip you, So anyway,
Crazy.
these people, the Indians are expert cheaters. This cheater. But anyway, we engaged him in service because he ended up driving us to the airport to go to Kolkata. But anyhow, I made him feel very badly about cheating us. But I had to accept it again. Boom. Same theme here. Just accept. Okay.
Oh boy.
Yes, you're not. I thought I was gonna have a bargain trip to India. It's never a bargain
Yeah,
trip
he
to
was
India.
like, it's like 300 rupees. I was like, that's not a good idea.
So anyhow,
It's late.
yeah, it's late. We are gonna go into this next thing. Maybe we'll start at
There is
10:30.
one person who is asking, he wants to donate, and so do you have a cash pay or PayPal option?
Who wants to do
Who wants to do it?
Online?
Yeah,
Oh.
Matthew James.
Well, that's very nice. I would say, Matthew, that yes, we'll write it out, but please donate to the nonprofit. ISKCON of Syracuse at gmail.com. You can send a Zelle. That's the best way. But we can type that in the comment.
Otherwise we have the
for-
barcode.
Yeah, I mean he's got to come here to get the barcodes.
Oh, you can put up a picture in there.
Anyway, we can actually probably send a QR code too. But if you just Zelle ISKCON of Syracuse at gmail.com, that's the way to donate. So, but thank you so much also as well. That's very nice. So anyway, that's Bhagavatam today. Bhishma, everything offered to Krishna, perfection at death. You have a practice, you have a sadhana that you're doing now. Try to reach perfection in life, so when death comes, the final exam, you'll be ready. But if you don't know it now, and the consciousness is on whatever's on the phone or whatever is here, there, and the other thing, then that will be where your consciousness goes at death. Yes? Did that answer your question, Parth? Yes? You can ask Guru Maharaj these things. Okay. Haribo!